There's no place like home. For college football fans, there's nothing like witnessing a game in your home stadium, especially when you're playing a rival. Still, for more than 80 years, the Georgia Bulldogs and Florida Gators have had to leave home for their annual football showdown. The Bulldogs call Athens home. The Gators play in Gainesville, Florida, but when the two meet, it's on the coast. Let's look at why the Georgia-Florida game is traditionally played in Jacksonville. In the early 1900s, college football stadiums weren't as massive as they are now. Georgia sports historian Lauren Smith says it wasn't unusual in those days for rivals to meet at a neutral site where they could draw a bigger crowd.
Georgia had a rickety old baseball field which served as the football field. We played Georgia Tech in Atlanta every year for a number of years. Georgia played Florida and Athens a couple of times, Macon, Tampa.
Florida scheduled 2 or 3 games a year at Fairfield Stadium in Jacksonville. According to historian and Jacksonville resident Bill Delaney, even as Georgia and Florida were building bigger stadiums for themselves, they saw the value in playing in a bigger city with potentially higher ticket prices. Located on the railroad line, Jacksonville was a relatively easy trip for fans of both teams.
A lot of people in South Georgia, they were nearer Jacksonville than they were Athens. The Florida game was the one game that they could get to.
Since 1933, Georgia and Florida have met every year in Jacksonville except twice when the stadium there was undergoing renovations and the year World War II canceled the game. There have been discussions about moving it over the years, but tradition has held strong. A contract between the schools and the city will keep the game in Jacksonville until at least 2023.
There's also an option to take the game to 2025. I expect that will happen and probably even beyond. Is there somebody looking at me over my shoulder, Christy?
Yeah.
You see somebody back there?
You can feel the eyes on you, can't you?
What's going on? Yeah. Hey, I got to tell you, you and I are in the same position because here we are rooting for the Braves in Game 4 of the World Series. Our heart is also going to be in Jacksonville for that Florida-Georgia game. You and I are on the same side with that one. So, boy, it's going to be a stressful day for us sports-wise.
Ooh, I know. Can our hearts even take it? But, you know, Jerry, that conversation about why it's in Jacksonville, that's been part of the Georgia conversation, Georgia fans conversation for a long time. But for me, you know, our fans, we travel well. So that's never really been it's always kind of felt like a home game. And, you know, it's always given us an excuse to go to the beach once a year. So it's not that bad, right?
I was going to say, St. Simon's, Jekyll, and all of that. Yeah, everybody enjoys that trip. So I think it's going to stay that way for a while.
I think so, too. All right, well, no matter what, we can agree, go Dogs, go Brave.